At the end of 2015, the Project M development team announced that it was ceasing development of Project M. There would be no more patches, no more bug fixes, and no more balance changes, and Project M 3.6 would be the final version of the game. The Project M community was devastated, but kept pushing on, and they banded together to create the first ever official PM tier list. The first tier list served mostly as a vague snapshot of the metagame at the time, where characters with major tournament results were near the top, and characters without much use were near the bottom. While Fox kept his melee veteran status at the top of the list, second place Diddy Kong saw acclaim from most of the community thanks to the efforts of one player, Junebug. Junebug emerged from 2015 the clear king of Project M, with victories over the other titans of the time, Professor Pro, Mr. L's, and Lunchables. At the start of 2016, Junebug kept up his dominance, winning West Coast Major Final Boss, Canadian Major Frozen Phoenix, and East Coast Major Shots Fired 2. Junebug was honestly looking unstoppable, but signs of what was to come in 2016 were already starting to form. At Shots Fired 2, the first big shakeup in the PM community made his statement and broke into the top 3, the snake player from Connecticut known as Flip. Flip had already made waves by dominating the net play ladder, and Shots Fired 2 was his big breakout, where he beat Mr. L's and placed just below Professor Pro and Junebug. As 2016 continued, Flip would prove time and again that this wasn't just a fluke. 2016 also marked the first year of the Project M Championship Circuit, a series of events around North America where players with top placings earned circuit points. If you have the most points at the end of the year, you win a prize pot. Pretty cool. With Junebug winning the first circuit event, Frozen Phoenix, it seemed like a lock that he would eventually be the circuit champion. He was still widely considered the best PM player, so the only thing stopping him was travel. Jump forward to April, where we had the first incredibly stacked major of 2016 and New York circuit event, SuperNova. SuperNova would be the first PM tournament since Paragon to have the top East Coast players and top West Coast players in attendance, but no Prof, Lunchables, or L's. With every other Titan missing, Junebug was looking the clear favorite. He made his way through the bracket until he ran into up-and-coming New York player and Chic Peach dual main, Malachi.
Good job by Junebug. Oh, dude, it's done! It's done! It's done!
Oh,
Malachi
man.
takes a set off Junebug!
With this win, Malachi appeared as another new top-level threat from the East Coast. As for Junebug, he was eventually eliminated in losers at 9th place, earning his first ever PM placing outside of top 8. 2016 was already looking completely different than anyone had expected. Malachi continued on in winner's bracket and eventually found himself up against Connecticut's new top threat, Flip. Even with the momentum from defeating Junebug, Malachi wasn't able to overcome Flip's rise to stardom. Flip eventually won the whole tournament, and East Coast as a whole looked like a dominant force. 6 out of the 8 players in top 8 at SuperNova were East Coast, and during a Tri-State versus Cali crew battle, Tri-State made quick work of the West Coast invaders. After SuperNova, Flip, Malachi, and Junebug continued sharing dominance. At the next circuit event, New England's Blacklisted 2, Malachi took home the gold after an insane losers bracket run. After that was SoCal's circuit event, the Big Balk, where grand finals between Junebug and Flip went in Junebug's favor. It seemed clear that these 3 were the new top 3 of the Northeast, and possibly the top 3 in all of PM. While these 3 Northeastern players fought over the spotlight, it might sound like the other Titans of 2015 dropped off the planet, but in early 2016 they were still showing incredible signs of life. Professor Pro, obviously being from the UK, kept him out of most circuit events, but he still defeated Flip at Shots Fired 2 and won the Pound 2016 side event. Lunchables also started off with a great 2016, earning his first ever victory over Mewtwo King and placing 4th at the Big Balk, losing only to Flip and Junebug. Mr. L's, on the other hand, had become fairly quiet, and we didn't really see him in 2016, until Chicago's circuit event, Smash and Splash 2. With no Malachi or Flip in the equation, Junebug again looked the heavy favorite. But with surprise losses to Wisconsin's Marshall and MDVA's Hyperflame, Junebug earned his lowest PM placing ever at 17th. This cleared the way for Lunchables and Mr. L's to make their cases for top-level status in 2016. And in an intense 10-game grand finals, Mr. L's earned his first and only circuit victory in 2016.
That's gonna
That's
do
it.
it.
Oh my god.
And Lunchables.
Congratulations to Mr. LZ, our Project M singles champion of Smash and Splash 2.
This was Elz's only real notable accomplishment in 2016, if for nothing else, proving that he was still a national level threat. Lunchables, on the other hand, attended a few more circuit events in 2016 and was poised to take the next one, a major in his home state of Texas called Tier Ciy 4. With all this talk of East Coast Titans, it's at this point I need to introduce two of the best players from the West Coast. NorCal's #1 player and Donkey Kong main Thunder's Reign, and SoCal's #1 player and Wario main Sosa. These two had great results across the West Coast in early 2016, but never seemed to be able to perform the best out of state. In fact, both of them attended SuperNova earlier in the year, but neither even made it to the top 8. At the Big Bout later that year, they both clinched top 8 placements, but they hadn't really had that big tournament victory. With both of them hungry to leave their mark on the PM scene, it would be Thunders who would have his breakout performance at Tier Ciy 4. With Junebug and Mr. Els left in the dust, Thunder's Reign found himself in grand finals against the hometown hero Lunchables, and in Set 2, Game 5, Thunders became the first West Coast player to win a circuit event.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Thunders is your champion.
This tournament legitimized Thunders as a top-level threat, and he became revered in the greater Smash Bros. Community for his incredible combo game on what was formerly considered an unviable character. As Thunders continued to earn notoriety, his SoCal counterpart Sosa saw his opportunity at the next circuit event, a side tournament at EVO 2016. With Thunders going down to Junebug earlier in winners, and with Sosa scoring a critical victory over Melee legend Hungrybox, Sosa had to overcome the previous best in the world in grand finals to finally cement his spot as a top-level threat.
Covering and the loft, and that does it.
That does it. Sosa EVO 2016 champion.
Finally, West Coast had some superstars to represent them at Nationals. 2 circuit events in a row won by West Coast players, and the community was taking notice. An updated tier list was released shortly after EVO and highlighted a few key differences from the tier list from earlier that year. Donkey Kong was now 12 places higher, propelled almost entirely by the performances of Thunder's Reign. Characters used heavily by top players like Snake, Wario, Peach, and Game & Watch all moved up the list as well. And with consistent placings from top players like Junebug, Diddy Kong found himself as the new king of the tier list. The circuit calmed down for a bit, with only a few smaller events taking place. The next Midwest circuit event in Nebraska, Nexus, was clinched by top Squirtle player Dirtboy. After that, Lunchables was finally able to secure his first circuit win, taking out Junebug and Malachi at Arlo 3 in Oklahoma. And Junebug was able to secure the glorified MDVA local circuit event, Commonwealth 2. Outside of the circuit, Thunders and Sosa met again in grand finals at Clutch City Clash, where Sosa was able to take the gold. But at the final West Coast circuit event, Salty Juan's 3 in New Mexico, Thunders was able to acquire his second circuit victory over his West Coast rival. These two titans owned the West Coast, but they had a mountain in front of them to conquer at the circuit finale, the East Coast major, Olympus. Olympus easily earns the title of the most stacked PM tournament of the year, with almost every top player from around the world in attendance, the notable absent exception being Mr. Els. At this event, the final circuit points from the past events were all tallied up, and Junebug was crowned the circuit champion. Even with 2016 containing some of his worst losses, his overall consistency helped him reign supreme. But he would have a mountain to climb if he wanted to take the gold at Olympus as well. Of all the 2016 Titans in attendance, Flip and Professor Pro both did not clinch top 8, but the rest of the top 8 cast looked pretty familiar. From the West Coast, we had Sosa, Thunder's Reign, and West Coast Nest player Jose V. From the East Coast, we had Malachi, Junebug, and top New York players Gallo and Jaden. And finally from Texas, we had Lunchables. It was an intense top 8 with some surprising upsets and some amazing close calls. But Grand Finals ended up a repeat of Tier Ciy 4, with Thunder's Reign taking Set 2 of Grand Finals over Lunchables.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! What a way to close it out! Oh my gosh!
After Olympus, Most players considered Thunders the best in the world, with Lunchables being a close second. And this time, when West Coast went up against East Coast in a crew battle, West Coast was able to take it fairly convincingly. With Rewired in Arizona as the one big major left in the year, Thunders continued to maintain his dominance and defeated his West Coast nemesis Sosa in a stunning 3-0 with Captain Falcon. Thunders had become the best player in all of PM. 2016 was an incredibly volatile year for PM. We saw the rise of new blood on both the East and West Coast, but we also saw the old Titans hold down the fort where they could. We saw some of the largest PM events of all time, with several national events breaking 200 entrants. And we saw a community, after being cast out from the spotlight and seeing its game shut down, hold fast and keep playing the game they love. I may not know what's going to happen in 2017, but I can tell you one thing. Project M isn't going anywhere. This has been Reslived. I hope you enjoyed my synopsis of the PM scene in 2016. I may make some more of these for games like Smash 4 or Melee, so go ahead and subscribe to see when I make new content. Thank you for watching, and take care.